Hello, I'm Justin.
And I'm Kyle.
And we are the Mirror Twins. And today, Kyle is going to take us on a magical journey.
Yes, I'm going to take you through my little romp through Toylanta.
What is Toylanta?
Toylanta is a convention that's specifically for toys.
In Atlanta? Toylanta? You know what that's called? A portmanteau.
A portmanteau.
That's when you take two words and smash them together like that.
I thought...
Like brunch is a portmanteau.
I thought when someone didn't have a lot of money and you had their toe.
Yeah, it's a poor man's toe. Actually, it's French for a type of luggage as well. But in English, it means a word you slam together like that.
Wow. You're full of useless knowledge.
I'm just full of it. I was not there, but Kyle's going to walk us through how awesome it was. So let's get small. And let's start it.
Hi, this is Kyle here on assignment. I'm here in North Atlanta at Toylanta. So we're gonna check this place out, see what all the fuss is about.
Good intro. I like that.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
That took me several tries to get that right.
Why was that?
I'm terrible at this. So
no, you're amazing. You're amazing. And it was formerly Joelanta, right?
It was Joelanta, and then they expanded it.
As in G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, yes. Geared towards the 12-inch collectors. But it had a little bit of everything. They always had that. Even years ago, they still had Transformers and stuff like that. But now they've just expanded it. Okay, it's Toylanta.
It's always the week of my wife's birthday. It's always that weekend. That's why I've never gone with you.
I think that would be a great birthday gift for her.
Yeah, she'd love that.
So here we go. He's doing some classic art. Kind of the Monster Movies posters. This was a fun thing you could take a picture in front of. The G.I. Joe packages. They're in costumes, just having a lunch break.
There's a lot of people in costumes I saw. Oh, there's you!
Yep, there's
You're
my
an
packaging.
figure.
I'm an action figure.
You're Cobra.
Tiger Force. Some customs, some dioramas. And there's some, I believe that is an actual G.I. Joe vehicle.
Did they paint it and make it look a little more special?
I think so. There's some classic Joes, some Joe art, some pixelated Joe art.
And what is this? Indiana Jones?
These are customs. So if this guy made those, he would take a figure and make do a custom figure or a modified figure with a back. You had all sorts of G.I. Joe characters and Star Wars characters in the G.I. Joe packaging. It was really neat. These were super expensive, but each one was basically custom.
And then he has the 6-inch as well.
Well, those were still the 3 3/4. And this thing is enormous. This video doesn't do it justice.
Is this an actual G.I. Joe vehicle?
I believe it is an actual G.I. Joe vehicle. It's a huge tank. There's a 12-inch figure just to see the scale of this monstrosity. Some classic Batman. Just walking around the room here.
And all this
Ninja
stuff
Turtle
is for
frames.
Oh yeah, a still from
cell,
the
yeah.
animation cell. All this stuff is for sale as well, right?
Yes, all these guys are selling all this wonderful materials. There's some classic G.I. Joes, the old 12-inch. I mean, there were toys from the 60s, and we saw a couple things from the 50s. Some old 90s X-Men stuff.
Micro Machines, remember those?
Oh yeah, Toxic Avenger. Classic Turtles. Or is that the new stuff? I can't tell.
Yeah, they're remaking all the old stuff exactly like it was, or almost exactly. That's crazy.
These may be originals because they're in the case.
Yeah. So, those weird Dinobots!
The G2, yeah. So these were the re-releases in the 90s.
Okay, so that's not the weird stuff from Argentina. That's like an actual official...
Those were American releases. The G2 Dinobots, yep.
Okay. Did you get any of those?
No. Old Transformers... Some of the Rock Lords.
I remember those. Wow, it turns into a rock. Yay, I'm gonna...
Do you remember that movie Big, where he had the building? And he was like, what fun is a building?
Yeah. That's exactly what those were.
That's what Rock Lords was.
What can you do with rocks?
Yeah.
Look at the Skeletor Shogun.
That's pretty cool.
Classic Thundercats.
There's a little Sideways Mumra.
Sideways Mumra, that's what we'll call them. We had that Inspector Gadget toy.
That's why one of the main reasons I filmed that. There is the HasLab exclusive. There's some really cool box Transformers. A couple people have some neat Japanese exclusive stuff, vintage stuff. These were all like Toys R Toys R Us exclusives and stuff like that. There's a neat little Funko Pop Unicron.
Little, he's huge.
Yeah, he's huge. Little compared to Unicron. Lots of good stuff. Some Masters of the Universe. Biker mice from Mars.
This obviously...
And there's that Argentinian, same one we saw.
Why Argentina?
They licensed those molds, and then they just did bizarre colors.
Okay.
Some vintage 90s Batman, or late 80s, very early 90s. I believe that's the HasLab Galactus. There's
the Mythic Legions. Those, if you don't know, Mythic Legions are these super adult-oriented, high-end collectibles. Yeah.
There's an original Grayskull.
Wow.
Which they're very fragile. Like, it's hard to find one that's not...
Oh, the plastic just breaks down over time?
That's complete... Yeah, certain sections of it. They become brittle over time. There is... Okay, pause it here. That is Overlord. Japanese exclusive character. Very large figure. You can see how big he is compared to that wrestling buddy. He was not complete. Can't remember what he was asking for, but it was a fairly good deal for such a rare figure.
Did you get it?
No. I'm trying not to do the G1 rabbit hole, but very cool figure. It was good condition. It wasn't yellowed or anything like that. It wasn't too beat up. But there's some more Masters of the Universe stuff.
Was there a big comic book turnout in this?
Yeah, lots of people were selling comic books.
All right, who are these guys?
These were designers for Kenner, and they have some of their designs on display. I got to talk to them for a little bit and ask them about their design process and where they go to school. If somebody wants to do this, what do they do? It is a profession where you do need to go to school. It's industrial design. And there's tons of stuff you can do with industrial design. Industrial designers make pretty much everything you touch. The shape of a bar of soap, from all the car parts, including toys. He was signing some of his art that he designed, reproduced
Wow,
art.
so this is the original Kenner Star Wars. Tom Osborne and Tim Effler.
Some more neat stuff. Some DC. There's a really big...
Sally.
Sally, yes. I couldn't think of her name. There's another... Open Castle Grayskull with Super Skeletor.
Is that really just someone switched out the head? Like, that was when Super 7 was making both. I think there was some 2-packs with the Masters of the Universe and some of the DC superheroes. I don't know where the Red Hood came from, but I believe Super 7, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, did 2-packs of both. Now that is cool. This is a Mythic Legion, and it looks exactly like the toy. Exactly. I did for a short while collect Mythic Legion. Oh, the little goblin. He or she was very small. Whoever was in that costume. Very cool looking. And there's the Mythic Legion. If you've never heard of these things, they're really, really cool.
They're 6-inch scale, correct?
Yes. They're big, beefy, articulated, high detail. You can get them on Big Bad. You can get them, if you're quick, directly from them, Four Horsemen Studios.
Or just go to these places. I mean, I don't have any. You have a couple, right? I don't know how the joints are and how posable they are, but I know from just the paint is amazing. They're so well done, so well made as far as the way they look.
I think that's the big difference between regular standard release and then these adult-centered collectible things is the paint apps. It's that level of detail. It's that number of accessories that come with. That's the difference. But the actual material is probably the same. Star Wars stuff.
So this thing right here, if you back up just a tiny bit, these were vintage toys. And this was battery operated. Push a button and that would open up with lights and sounds and slide out. And you'd have all those troopers on there.
Oh, wow.
So that they would just go, just come out. It would look really cool.
Oh, neat.
Now this was awesome.
That guy was controlling it.
He made that himself.
Really?
He made this, okay? So he had a PlayStation controller. And the internals, the electronics, was a PlayStation. He opened it up and showed me. This thing is 3D printed.
Wow!
Yes. He used the servo motors from 2 Razor scooters. Totally made this by himself. But he would control it walking around.
So this guy made it from scratch.
Yes.
That is amazing.
And it looked really good. You could not tell it was plastic. until you were right up on it.
Jeez.
The wheels didn't roll very well in the carpet, so he's trying to keep it on the hardwood floors.
Well, that's the problem with those R2 units. They can't do stairs. They can't do carpet.
These were some amazing costumes here.
Yeah, really cool Mando costumes. Now, these are just fans, right? They're not professional models?
I don't know. This was a whole section of Star Wars.
Okay.
So this was like an offshoot at the registration table. You would turn left, and this was a little extra section. So I don't know if these guys were sponsored or what, but they were amazing costumes.
Okay.
Very, very good. Just awesome costumes. Little trader. What's his name?
Jawa.
No, the Jawas, yeah. Look fantastic. There's a
Snake Eyes trailer.
Yeah, the Snake Eyes.
I am all done. It was a pretty great show. I really enjoyed it. I saw lots of really cool things, lots of old stuff. Star Wars guys, the costumes were amazing. It was a pretty big venue. Not the biggest one I've ever went to, but it was pretty awesome. One thing that was pretty crazy was the parking lot was completely full. This is a big hotel. I'll get in the background. Not huge, but fairly sizable. I got here 30 minutes early before they opened to the general public, and the parking lot was pretty much full. Over here behind me is another set of establishments, and those people are all here for this convention as well. Those were empty when I got here. Let's see what Kyle got. All right, here's my haul. I have the brand new, just released Evolution Transmetal 2 Megatron. I actually got that for $55, so basically retail without taxes. And I have the repaint of Ironhide. Can't remember his name, so I'll put that at the bottom of the screen. Breakaway, Getaway. Put his name at the bottom of the screen.
Just fix it in post. Make Justin do it.
Justin can do it.
Just fix it. Look that guy up and tell me.
He'll do his editing. That is Getaway. Titans Return Getaway.
Well, I hope he has a Titan Master. And got the repaint of this guy, Autobot. Super 90s. Nice and pink. Very nice. And Thermidor. Fun little crab robot guy.
Car that transforms into a crab man.
That is ridiculous. The Robots in Disguise had all those weird Decepticons. It was really cool. It was like, talk about thinking outside the box.
Yeah, and just doing something different. I really like the designs. Some of the toys weren't that great, but the designs were really cool.
Yeah.
I just thought that was neat.
And it was never explained in the show, right? It was just like, no, those are the Decepticons.
Yeah, that's just what they are.
And the big ones, Star Convoy, the Japanese exclusive, to go with my Super Megatron. And the one I came here looking for, I found, is another Japanese exclusive. This is Great Shot. So there you go. That was my stuff I got from Toylanta 2023.
Thank you for taking us through it. Maybe one day I'll be able to go. You did not take the whole day, right? Like you were...
No, I was done by like 2 o'clock.
It was on the north side of Atlanta, though.
It was.
And it's always in the same hotel or not?
That was a new location for this year.
Bigger?
Bigger.
Are they expanding?
Bigger. There was more centralized where the vendors were. It was more centralized. And they do other things, but I'm there for the toys. They had workshops and stuff like that.
Check them out, Toylanta. It's always in March.
There's another one called Joe Fest in Augusta. And that's another good convention, but it's smaller.
And it's specifically G.I. Joe? Or
it's
leaning
toys.
Heavily on G.I. Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I get Transformers there too.
Okay.
So, but Joe Fest in Augusta, that's over the summer.
Okay. Are you going to that?
I'm going to that.
All right, Kyle, hit him with the outro.
Get out of here, you crazy kids.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
To that.